Thanks for checking out this haul video. So let's get to it. Let's go over the July Vinegar Syndrome releases that I got. Reminder, I am part of the subscribership through Vinegar Syndrome, so I received all the things included with that, but then I did purchase a few extras. Also, they had going on during that, that was their halfway subscriber sale, so people could sign up to be halfway through the year subscribers, which obviously I didn't need to do because I was already a yearly subscriber. But then they had deals each day for a week, and so I did make some purchases through those deals, but I will make that a separate video, and that's going to be a shorter video because I only bought 4 titles through that, but I just didn't want to include them with this because it would then be a very long video. And then a reminder, with these July releases, I will be doing a video when I'm able to get it up after I do the work for it, probably in a week or two. Probably definitely within 2 weeks, but I will be doing a video ranking all of the July Vinegar Syndrome releases that I have watched, and that'll be a ranking based off of the movie itself, and also the special features and if there are any essays included with that. So anyway, these, as I'm going to show them to you, are ranked by what I'm least interested in watching to most interested in watching. So let's get to it. The first one, and what I'm least interested in, but obviously I bought it, so I'm kind of interested. It's my first DeGosser video purchase. Not huge on shot-on-video films, but there are some out there that I really enjoy, like Sledgehammer, Things, and I also have VHS Hitfest release of Justice Ninja Style. That's also one I really enjoy. So I decided to go ahead and buy Blood Cult because the sequel to this film, called Revenge, is in the Homegrown Horrors Volume 3 package, and I enjoyed that. That's shot on film. This one was shot on video, so therefore it's being released through DeGosser. So hopefully this will be also as fun or close to as fun as that film, Revenge, but there's Blood Cult. Pretty solid artwork for this one. That's the original artwork that I put on there. Fine. You know, you could see this being on a VHS in a video store, so yeah. And then on the inside, that. All right, Blood Cult. On a small Midwestern college campus, female co-eds are being hacked to pieces in a rash of gruesome slayings dubbed the Sorority House Murders. In each case, a body part is removed from the victim and a golden amulet bearing a dog's head left on the corpse, leading Sheriff Wilboyce to suspect the involvement of a canine god-worshipping blood cult. Determined to put an end to the carnage, the sheriff, with the aid of his daughter and her boyfriend Joel, sets about attempting to stop the blood cult before it succeeds in its grisly aims. This is marketed as the first movie made specifically for the home video market. Interesting. So yeah, like I said, enjoyed Revenge, which is the sequel, so hopefully this one is just as fun. Blood Cult. The next one, still pretty interested in this one. It's one of their double features, and this is one they had already said ahead of time, like at the beginning of the year, that this would be released in July. Intrepidos Punks and Vengeance of the Punks. I believe this is Mexican filmed. That's cool. Love the way that looks. That's super awesome. Lots of cool color. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. And then on the inside, oh, there is a booklet here. We got a booklet, so I will be reading that, seeing what kind of cool essays they have for that. Oh, that's getting all whopper-jawed in there. How did that happen? Excuse me while I fix this. I don't want it getting all messed up. Okay, let's read about these movies. From the weirdest depths of Mexico's genre cinema scene come 2 of the most infamous punksploitation classics of the 80s. Intrepidos Punks and La Venganza de los Punks. Serving up a non-stop feast of brutality topped off with an all-out assault of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, Vinegar Syndrome proudly... we don't need to put that portion in there. Okay, so Intrepidos Punks. After Fiera and her punk cohorts break their leader Tarzan out of prison, no one is safe. Tarzan, love it. The newly reunited gang are quick to resume their favorite pastimes, robbing banks, brokering drug deals, and securing weapons, all while leaving a trail of mutilated corpses in their wake. As the entire countryside becomes caught up in the punks' lifestyle of debauchery and violence, it's up to federal agents Javier and Marco to track them down before bloodthirsty anarchy becomes the new way of life. Sounds debaucherous, sounds fun. And then La Venganza de los Punks. The punks are on the prowl again. After another explosive jailbreak, Tarzan and his gang are back on the streets. Sounds like it's the exact same movie already. This time looking to exact revenge on the men responsible for landing them in the slammer. After ambushing federal agent Marco's party and murdering his entire family, they mistakenly believe that they've fully annihilated their enemies. But when it turns out that Marco didn't die in the ambush, the punks begin to get a taste of their own ruthlessness as Marco tracks them down and kills them one by one. Okay. Also sounds fun enough, although I'm going to assume the law of diminishing returns, as is typically the case with any film really, that the sequel's usually not as good. Very rare occasions that's not the case, but Intrepidus Punks. Interested to watch this one. All right, the next one, They Call Me Macho Woman. And I was kind of on the fence about buying this. This was their VSA release. I'll show you as I talk. Looks cool. Looks all right. People might want to know. Number 255, pretty low number. So this was their VSA they put out. I had heard it was a trauma. I was on the fence, and then I saw I was reading some Letterboxd reviews about it, and someone said that if you like The Room and Undefeatable, that you're gonna like this. And check. I love both those films, so that's the original artwork. Not great, obviously. And they have a poster in here, and they also have, behind the poster is a essay book that I will be reading, obviously, and talking about when I do my ranking thing. Oh, and then there's this. That artwork. Which is, whatever. All right, let's read about They Call Me Macho Woman. Susan Morris thought she could find peace and quiet by escaping the city and moving to a secluded country town. Unfortunately, she's picked the wrong day to go house hunting, as she and her mousy real estate agent stumble on a big money backwoods drug dealing scheme led by the vicious Mongo and his crude gang of inbred thugs. Already love that. But when the hillbillies take Susan hostage, they quickly realize they've got trouble on their hands, and that the pretty blonde city girl they've tied up is in fact a highly trained killing machine. Yes, awesome. Very excited about that. It sounds cool. Like I said, the Letterboxd reviews really kind of sold it to me. So, oh god, I hate these bottom loading things. Okay, got it. So yeah, very excited. They Call Me Macho Woman. We'll be reviewing that one too, obviously. All right, so the one I'm third most interested in is another double feature, Chinese Torture Chamber 1 and 2. I saw the trailer for this. This looks wild. It looks very over the top. I like that cover. That a little too plain for me, honestly. But the front's cool. And let's see, on the inside, just that again. And yeah, same. The front. Booklet of essays. I'm into it. I'm going to be excited to check that out. Always love when they're having the essays. They're usually really good. Notorious even amongst Hong Kong's Cat 3 films, A Chinese Torture Chamber Story 1 and 2 remain some of the most outrageous entries in the genre thanks to their shameless blending of explicit sex and extreme violence, all played with a touch of macabre humor. Selling me already. Unfolding like a set of Shaw Brothers wuxia films gone horribly wrong, both take full advantage of their period settings to indulge in grisly details of all types of archaic torture. Vinegar Syndrome is proud to present these two jaw-dropping highlights of early 90s Hong Kong exploitation filmmaking on Blu-ray for the first time in the U.S. Okay, so A Chinese Torture Chamber, the first one. A beautiful young woman named Little Cabbage, that's a name, is sold by her family to a wealthy scholar named Yang in order to become his future concubine. However, Yang's overbearing wife becomes jealous of Little Cabbage and arranges to have her married off to a well endowed peasant. When Little Cabbage's new husband is found dead, poisoned by a powerful aphrodisiac, Little Cabbage and Yang are brought in front of a bloodthirsty court to face charges of conspiring to commit murder. Maintaining their innocence, Little Cabbage and Yang are forced to endure unspeakable torture at the hands of a corrupt judge in an attempt to make them confess. Cleverly told in a series of flashbacks, this horrific and hilarious film features wall-to-wall sex and violence, culminating in an explosive climax unlike anything you've seen before. As if I couldn't already be more, like super excited for it. Then a Chinese torture chamber story 2. Ma, a man rising in the ranks of politics, is traveling to the capital when he is accosted by two down-on-their-luck bandits, Wong and Chung. Taking pity on the two lowly peasants, Ma agrees to help his new friends better their lives, partly due to Ma's attraction to Wong's sister, who also happens to be Chung's fiancée, the young and beautiful Lotus. When they all arrive in the capital to take Ma up on his generous offer, they discover that Ma has embroiled them in an elaborate con, and soon find themselves caught up in a saga of jealousy, betrayal, and of course, torture. An equally deranged follow-up to its infamous predecessor, this in-name only sequel does its best to increase not only the amount of sex and eroticism, but also the levels of cringe-inducing violence. This sounds like this could be one of the sleeper hits of the year, potentially, release-wise, that is. Which, by the way, I am actually keeping a list ranked of every monthly Vinegar Syndrome release, so I have like a full ranking on my phone of my personal thoughts on what's best to least. So yeah, the Chinese torture chamber movies sounds fun. All right, second most excited about this one, and the packaging is phenomenal. Reptilicus. This is my jam. I mean, not the movie itself. I haven't seen it at this point, but this type of movie is my jam. Reminds me how last July, I believe it was, they released Gorgo, which was so much fun. I love Gorgo. It's one of my favorite releases of theirs so far. Reptilicus, same thing, giant monster. I watched the trailer. It looks terrible. Like, it looks like an awful looking puppet, so I think it's going to be that so bad it's good type deal. So very excited to get into that, but man, look at that. It looks gorgeous. The back, also looking great. The inside, not big on this. They did something very similar with the Gorgo release, and I just don't like the simplicity. I want more artwork to it. This is just, it's not much. 4K, obviously, which is pretty sweet. That original artwork is phenomenal, too, in my opinion. If they had just put the original artwork on the front, I also would have been down with that. That's nice. And then we don't have any essays or anything in here, but there is a cool-looking poster that looks like it does have a little bit of information on it. That poster does look pretty sweet. Should I open that? I feel like I should open that up on here. Because it doesn't look just like they typically do posters that just look like the artwork that they have on the outside. This is different. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I super dig that. That's nice. I'm into it. Very nice. Getting me more excited about this. So this is 3 discs. So that'd be interesting to go through. I know it said on the back that there's like a Danish version of the film as well. All right, a group of mining engineers prospecting for copper in the mountains of Lapland make an incredible discovery when their drilling unearths the remains of a giant prehistoric amphibious reptile. A section of the creature's tail is exhumed from beneath a frozen tundra and transported to the National Aquarium in Copenhagen, where it's placed in a cold room to be studied by Professor Otto Martens and his research team. But when the door to the room is accidentally left ajar, the tail segment begins to thaw, quickly regenerating itself into a gigantic beast. Now loose and embarking on a cross-country rampage, the military are forced to employ all means necessary to rout the creature, now dubbed Reptilicus, before it launches a full-scale attack on the capital. Sounds fun. It's a Danish-American co-production. It's a delirious creature feature which serves as the Scandinavian answer to Godzilla, complete with astonishing scenes of its titular monster causing carnage in Copenhagen. filmed in both Danish and English language versions. So interesting. Don't know why that just happened. One of those days, you know. Yeah, pretty excited about this one. Hope it lives up to at least somewhat close to Gorgo, but Gorgo was really good, so Reptilicus, excited. So that leads me to the one I'm most excited about, and it is the cinematograph release, which they've been doing pretty well with the cinematograph releases, honestly. Last Embrace. Watch the trailer for this, looks really good. Very, very excited about this. This is a Jonathan Demme film, and this is a 4K that they have for it. I keep saying this, I don't like the J cards because it's literally covering up artwork on the back, and it's like, what are you supposed to do? Take the J card off and do what with it? Because then there's artwork on the back for what? For not, like, either the J card's for nothing or the artwork on the back's for nothing. I just don't understand that, but whatever. I'm just not a J card person, but Last Embrace looks cool. They have their typical, you know, pull the ribbon, pull it out. Yep. Woo. Don't want to do that too often. As usual, these always smell very strongly of like model glue, like rubber cement. So strong when I first get them. That's going to have to off gas for a while. Last Embrace. Obviously, as usual with these, there's like a whole book portion in the front, which I will end up reading, obviously. And this is 2 discs, I assume, because, yep, one's 4K, one's Blu-ray. Excited. Now let's read about Last Embrace, which in the trailer I saw that Christopher Walken's in it, so that is a selling point for me. Harry Hannon is played by Roy Scheider, which people know from Jaws, is a United States government agent newly released from a long stay at an asylum following the murder of his wife during a botched mission in Mexico. Upon returning to government work, Hannon becomes increasingly paranoid, constantly questioning his sanity and who he can trust in the wake of receiving mysterious threats written in Hebrew. Hannon, along with doctoral student Ellie Fabian, played by Janet Margolin, must unravel an arcane mystery that follows them from the streets of New York City to the rushing waters of Niagara Falls before time runs out. It's based on a novel called The 13th Man by Murray Teague Bloom and adapted for the screen by David Shaber, who did The Warriors. Interesting. It's an often overlooked entry in the career of Jonathan Demme, who did Silence of the Lambs, deftly weaving conventions of classic espionage with elements of the budding erotic thriller genre that would become pervasive in the following decade. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh man, Joe Spinell's in it too. Ooh, baby, baby. I mean, I love me some Christopher Walken, but Joe Spinell as well. Love me some Joe Spinell. So, very excited about this one. Obviously, it's the one I'm most excited about, but just a reminder, I will be reviewing this one and all the other ones in my ranking, and I kind of have a feeling this one's going to be number 1 based off what I'm seeing, but you don't know. We'll find out. So anyway, this is where I want to ask you to leave some comments on what you've picked up recently that you're excited about. Doesn't even need to be Vinegar Syndrome. Doesn't even need to be movies. Doesn't even need to be horror. Just what you're excited about, because I want to get people talking, you know? Let's just get talking about stuff that we find fun. Do me a favor and hit subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That's your best way to support me. I appreciate that. You can hit the notification bell button if you want to know when I'm putting up new videos. And if you want to hit the thumbs up on this and any video I have out there to help me with that YouTube algorithm, I appreciate that. But anyway, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this. And until next time, keep it brutal.